Colossians 3 verse 17. And whatsoever ye do in word or deed, do all in the name of Yahweh, giving thanks to the Most High, thy Father, Yahweh, by him.
Right, everything we do is in word and deed and through Hamashiach Yahweh. So the next book we're going to go into is 2nd Ezra chapter 3. And we're going to start at the 31st verse. If you have an Apocrypha, go into your Apocrypha, a King James Apocrypha. This is an Apocrypha. This is old beat up Apocrypha. I got it taped everywhere. Alright? This is fine. I like them old beat up Apocrypha. Alright? So, Brother Barzal is going to read. Go ahead, up.
2nd Ezra 3 verse 31. I do not remember how this way may be left. Or thy then of Babylon better than the thy of Zion? Or is there any other people that know of thee besides Israel?
Question mark. Go ahead.
Or what generation have so believed thy covenant as Jacob? And yet their reward appeareth not, and their labor have no fruit. For I have gone here and there through the heathen, and I see what they flow in. Wealth. Think not upon thy commandments. So weigh thou therefore our wickedness now in their balance.
Right, so this is Israel saying, weigh thou therefore our wickedness now in the balance. Right? We're going to weigh our wickedness in the balance of theirs. Come on.
And theirs also that dwell in the world. And so shall thy name nowhere be found but in Israel.
Okay, so with that being said, he's saying, we're going to read some more. But with that being said, when you look all around the United States, and I'm just going to use the United States, when you look at the Negroes and the Latinos, and even the Native Americans, they love this Bible. They love this Bible to a T. Guess what? They also believe what's written in this Bible. Most of our people. The majority of our people believe this Bible. Now when you look at the other nations do not believe this Bible. They believe everything else, but they don't believe the stories in this Bible. They think it's fairy tales. This Bible is true. And the Negroes, Latinos, and American Indians believe every word of it. Don't come up against their God. Even if they're not in the knowledge of the Father. If they don't have the understanding, they still love the power.
That's right. Today, put on the new armor of God. Put on Jesus Christ and fight against the enemy. Because we love you, God. So we do it for Jesus Christ. Put on salvation as your helmet and take the sword of the Spirit, which is the sword of God. So put on the full armor of God. Jesus Christ. I love you, God. Of truth, Jesus Christ! Chestnut of righteousness, Jesus Christ! Shoes of peace, stomping on the enemy. We love you, God! Jesus Christ! Jesus Christ, we love you, God! Shield and faith of God! Jesus Christ! Everything right here! Hey! Helmet of salvation! Jesus Christ! Look! There goes the enemy! Look! There goes the enemy! So we hold up the sword of truth! Jesus Christ! Shield of faith! I love y'all!
Go ahead, read.
Verse 35. Or when was it that they which dwell upon the earth have not sinned in thy sight? Or what people have so kept thy commandments?
What people have so kept thy commandments? We are a just people, even in sin. Okay? When you look at Rodney King, when he got beat by the officers, they almost killed the man. He still came out and said, what? Can we all get along? Still trying to justify people's actions. That's our people. Okay? We still upheld as holy people. Even in the midst of wickedness, we still try to be right. Go ahead, Ike.
Verse 36. Thou shalt find that Israel by thy have kept thy precepts, but not the heathen.
Read it again, Ike.
Thou shalt find that Israel by name hath kept thy precepts, but not the heathen.
Right, so Israel has kept the precepts, but not the heathen. What are the precepts? Give me Isaiah 28:9. What are the precepts? He said that Israel has kept the precepts, but not the heathen. Meaning, Israel diligently studies this Bible. Your grandmother studied this Bible. Your grandfather studied this Bible. Okay? When you look through our history, and I know in my history, my grandparents studied the Bible on both sides. They loved this word. They believed it. Second grade education. All they could read was the Bible. Whether they knew what they was reading or not, they loved this word. Okay? Go ahead.
Isaiah 28 verses 10. For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little.
Right. So he's telling you the formula of how to read this Bible. And the formula of precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little is how you properly understand the Bible. Now when you look in your Bible, you're going to see precepts on the side of this Bible. I say about 25% of these precepts are right. 75% of them are not right. Okay? And so the heathen don't understand what was written from our forefathers to us. This is specifically written for a certain people that can understand it. Okay? So keep reading out.
Verse 11. For with stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to his people, to whom he said, this is the rest wherewith ye may cause the weary to rest. And this is the refreshing, yet they would not hear.
Right, so this is our refreshing. This is our rest. Even in slavery times, when we couldn't read, there was always one of us ripping a page out of the Bible to take it to the other slaves.
Now I have heard the groaning of the Israelites whom the Egyptians hold in slavery, and I have remembered my promise. Say unto the children of Israel, I am the Lord. And I will bring you out from under the burdens of the Egyptians, and I will rid you out from under their bondage. And I will redeem you with a stretched out arm, and ye shall know that I am the Lord.
And learning how to read based off of one page of the Bible. Keep reading that.
Verse 13. But the word of the Most High was unto them precept upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little.
Okay, well this is talking about the heathen having our book. Keep going.
That they might go and fall backwards and be broken and snared and taken.
That's why they don't believe in this book. So I want to just show you that right there. Israel's always cleaved to these precepts. We've always loved it. Even talking to old men, I remember when I was young, I used to talk to old men. Guess what they was doing? Reciting scriptures. They were telling me, according to Daniel, according to Adam, they would always recite scriptures to us. All right, and so with that being said, now we know what precepts are. Precepts are verses connected to other verses. Okay, let's go to Psalms 119, verse 4, and read the verse there. Psalms 119, verse 4.
Psalms 119, verses 4. Thou hast commanded us to keep thy precept diligently.
He said, keep these precepts diligently. Now, they told us to stop keeping the commandments. So what are we doing now? We know the Word of God. You talk to many of us that are in these Christian churches, they know the Word of God, but they don't know the commandments. Why? Because it's been ripped away from them. So what are we doing? Keeping the precepts now. Go ahead.
Verse 4 again. Thou hast commanded us to keep thy precept diligently. Oh, that my ways were directed to keep thy statutes.
Oh, that my ways were directed to keep the statutes.
Then shall I not be ashamed when I have respect unto all the commandments.
Right, so when we start keeping these commandments, then we won't be ashamed. Come on.
I will praise thee with uprightness of heart.
Let me ask you this. When you start keeping the commandments, how do you feel when you start keeping the commandments? Like you belong to something, right? You have a sense of belonging. Wow, I know what I got to do now. My job is to keep this. This is part of my family tree. This is what we were supposed to. Wonder why we keep messing up. Wonder why I keep seeing things going on in the streets in my neighborhood. We don't have our own laws. You know, if you go into any other, like, okay, here in the Bay Area, we got so many different nationalities of people. Okay, we got Elam here, we got Ishmael here. If you go amongst the Ishmaelites, they have their own customs. You may see them out there in the streets doing their thing, but when they go home, they have customs. They may have the rugs, they may have the idol gods that they have in there. They may have certain pictures, certain dishes that they eat. That's all customary. Elam, the so-called East Indians, are the same way. They have their own customs. When you go to the Chinese people houses, they have their own customs. Japanese, they have their own customs separate from what the Chinese do. They have the dress code. They have the certain ways they wear their facial hair. Okay, the Punjabis wear their hair up a certain time of the year, up in a ball. That's customary. Nobody questions them for doing what they do. But when the Negroes, Latinos, and the Native American Indians start keeping their custom, which is keeping these laws, we're questioned. Everyone hates us. We have our own custom. Wearing fringes. This is our custom. Wearing a beard on our face. It's our custom. Okay? Our women wearing modest garments. That's our custom. We have a language. That's our custom. Okay? We have a set day that's set apart from all other nations, which is the Sabbath day, and feast days. This is our custom. These are laws. Not man's laws, but our laws, the laws of the Most High, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay? Keep going out.
Verse 7 again. I will praise thee with uprightness of heart, when I shall have learned thy righteousness judgment.
Keep going.
I will keep thy statutes, or forsake me not utterly.
Yeah, don't forsake me, Lord. I'm trying to do my best to keep the commandments. I'm trying to follow your guidelines. Okay? So we have to understand that. Go to 98 and read to 102. Same chapter. 98. Psalms 119, verse 98.
Thou through thy commandments hast made me wiser than my enemies, for they are ever with me.
And why is it saying he has made us more wiser than our enemies? Because when you see the Most High, he tells us in Deuteronomy chapter 7, and Deuteronomy chapter 4, that we are wise people, right? And understanding people based on what he's given us. He's given us commandments on how to what? Be rulers over the nation. Okay? Go ahead, Al.
I have more understanding than all my teachers, for thy testimonies are a meditation. I understand more than the ancient, because I kept thy precepts.
Okay, so when you look up, it says, for thy testimonies are my meditation. What are the testimonies? Brother, what's the testimonies?
The laws and the statutes, or the prophets and the law.
So testimonies are not laws, statutes, and commandments. Testimonies,
what he has said.
What he said, or what has happened. Okay, testimonies are what these men went through believing in the Lord and what happened afterwards. That's what the testimonies are. when we hear the testimony of Yahushua HaMashiach, we know about his walk because it was worded in the 4 Gospels. That was his walk. To what? To bring what? Salvation to our people. That was his walk. That was his person. That was the thing that the Most High bestowed on him to do. Go ahead,
verse 100. I understand more than the ancient because I kept thy precepts.
Because I kept thy precepts. Okay, so the precepts is what? The word of the Most High. The verses. The word of the Most High is everything. So our people love the Most High, right? That's why I spoke about our churches and how we praise the Most High so diligently. We go in there with praise. When you look at the churches, when our people go into church, what's the first thing they do? They go in there and they have the gospel music going. First thing that happens when they walk in there is gospel music. Okay? And what that music does, it gets them into the spirit. Because they come in off the street not ready. Now, Israelite don't come in like that. Israelite already ready. Israelite already been studying through the scriptures. He waiting to get some more meat. But the people that's out in the world, when they come to church, they ain't ready. They just got dressed to come to church. So they get into the spirit by the music. Then what you got next that comes up? You got the announcements. This is what's going on in the church. We're going to do this. We're going to feed the homeless. We're going to do this, blah, blah, blah. The announcements come in. Then you get some more singing going on. Praise dancing. Singing. Okay? Getting more people. The latecomers are coming in. They getting that. After that, what do you got? Now you got the pastor coming up. You got the deacon getting ready for the pastor. Pastor comes in. He says his little 2 cents. Get the people moving. Right? And then he try to get them to repent. Now, all that being said, why are they repenting and what are they repenting from? If the laws are done away with, and the sermon wasn't on the laws, the sermon was on something that somebody went through. A testimony. The churches are all about testimonies. That's it. That's why we go over the commandments and the laws. We talk about the testimonies all day long in church. So if we're only talking about the testimonies, how are we going to get life and breath into us? Through the testimonies only? No. Go ahead, keep reading that.
Hosea 4 and 6?
We were just reading.
You want to keep going?
Stop at 1
No,
and 1.
Go to Hosea 4 and 6. Yeah. Hosea 4 and 6. No, I was actually thinking of something else. But read Hosea 4 and 6.
Hosea 4 verses 6. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy power. I will also reject thy children.
Keep going. There's more meaning.
As thou wert increased, so thy sins against me. Therefore will I change their glory unto shame.
So this is what happened. Our glory was changed unto shame because we stopped keeping the commandments.
Isaiah 8 verses 16. Bind up thy testimony.
Bind up the testimonies. This is what we get in church. Bind them up. Everything you've learned, bind them up. Go ahead, Ike.
Seal the law among the disciples.
So if you bind up the testimonies, and the Most High said he's going to seal the law amongst his disciples, and the churches are not getting this law, are they going to be sealed? He says, seal the law among my disciples. Go to verse 20, Ike.
Verse 20. To the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them.
So they talk about the testimonies, but what about the law? So they got to have the law. Give me Revelation 14 and 12. See, the law is just as important as the testimonies. Got it? Go ahead.
Revelation 14 verses 12. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of the Most High and the faith of Yahweh.
Right, so now it's telling you here's the patience of the saints. Go back to Isaiah 8 and read verse 17.
Isaiah 8 verses 17. And I will wait upon thy Lord that hidden his face from the house of Jacob. And I will look for him.
How are you going to look for him? If you have the testimonies and the law, now you can wait on him. There's nothing to be ashamed about. If you just have the testimonies, there's a lot to be ashamed about because you ain't living right. All you know is a testimony. Keep going out. 18.
Behold, I and thy children whom the Lord hath given me are for signs and for wonders in Israel from the Lord of hosts, which dwelleth in Mount Zion.
Okay, so it says, behold, I and the children whom the Most High have given me are for signs and for wonders in Israel. He said, for those who were given to him. Remember Christ, Yahweh said the same thing. Let's go to John 17. John 17, and go to verse 9. Gospel of John. He says, those that were given to him, right?
John 17, verses 9. I pray for them, I pray not for the world, but for them which thou hast given me, for they are thine.
So who are they that was given to him? Those that believed. You understand? So it's the same thing that was quoted in where? In the Old Testament. Keep going.
And all mine are thine, and thine are mine, and I am glorified in them.
Right, and I am glorified in them. So who are the thine? Who are the thine, brother?
His people.
And
the nation of Israel.
And what are they going to have to do? Just keep the testimonies?
No, the law and the prophets.
The law and the testimony. So that's the misconception of our churches. That's why he says, my people are lost for a lack of knowledge. Because they only have the testimonies. They don't have the laws. That's heavy. I mean, y'all think about that. That's really heavy.
Our people give testimonies all the time.
That's what they do in church, right?
Because, because we're so trodden down, everybody got a testimony, you know?
Right.
Everybody got something to say.
Right.
Everybody got a testimony. And that's one of the main things. When I was growing up, I remember being in the church. They was like, tell your testimony. Tell your testimony. Everybody, then they go down the line. Everybody tell their testimony. Right? So everybody got something to say. I thank you, Lord. I'm here today. Everybody got testimony. But how about the laws? None of us had the laws. All praises to the Heavenly Father for bringing this. Give me, keep reading that. There's more in there. Verse 11.
Verse 11. And now I am no more in thy world, but these are in the world, and I came to thee. Holy Father, keep through thy own name those whom thou hast given me, that they may be one as we are.
Right. So they may be one as we are. So it's only going to be a small remnant. That tells you right there, he's only coming for a small remnant. There's a lot of our family that love the Lord, that love the other one, that only gives testimonies. That's why they don't understand when you change. The change is keeping the laws. You change. Let's go to Ezra, 2nd Ezra, chapter 9, and let's go to the 30th verse.
Second Ezra 9 verses 30 to 30 verse. And thou speakest, saying, hear me, O Israel, and mark my words, thou seed of Jacob. For behold, I sow my law in you.
Right, so this law was, what was it?
I sow my law
He sold
in you.
it in us. So you can't live without it.
That's starting at 2nd Ezra 30.
9 and 30. Right. We can't live as a people without his law. When we live just by the testimonies, guess what? We die. The testimony ain't good enough for us. We got to have both. The law and the testimony. Go ahead, Al.
Verse 31. For behold, I sow my law in you, and it shall bring fruit in you. And you shall be honored in it forever. But our fathers, which received the law, kept it not, and observed not thy ordinance.
And observed not the ordinances. Come on.
And though the fruit of thy law did not perish, neither could it, for it was thine.
Yeah, the fruit of the law did not perish. Why? We still have his word. It never perished. It's still here. And what do the pastors talk about? The pastors always say what? The law's no more. They try to say that the law perished. It ain't perished. It's still here. All right, go to verse 36.
Verse 36. For we that have received the law perish by sin.
By sin we perish by the law. Come on.
And our heart also which received it.
All right, come on.
Notwithstanding the law perished not, but remaining in his force.
Did we ever learn the commandments as children in Sunday school?
No.
Are you sure?
Well, the Ten Commandments.
Ten Commandments.
If that.
Right.
Yeah.
So we all got
Just
to
heard
understand as children. As children, we all learn. If we went to Sunday school, we all got the understanding of the Ten Commandments. Some schools even taught the Ten Commandments, right? When we were children. So we had the understanding of it, and it killed us. Because as we grew older, guess what? We was marked. We was marked for what? Knowing right from wrong, and we ignored that conscience that we had in us. Most of our parents taught us right from wrong through the commandments. You got to remember, when we came up, the Bible was heavy in those days. You know what I mean? Everybody went to church. There was a lot of religions, but mostly all you had was Baptist churches in the corner and black Muslim mosques. Okay? And even in the Muslim mosques, they taught you right from wrong to a certain degree. Okay? The Ten Commandments, has it changed? Has anything happened to the Ten Commandments? Has something been taken out of the Ten Commandments? Has anything replaced what was originally in the Ten Commandments?
No.
It's always been the same, right? Always been the same. How about the Bill of Rights? Y'all know the Bill of Rights, right? Do you know that Esau has made the same setup with his Bill of Rights as the Ten Commandments? He has 10 Bill of Rights that has not changed. He's trying to duplicate and copy what the Most High has done. Okay? The Most High has 613 laws. Esau has 27 amendments. 27 amendments. How many times has the Most High's laws been changed, tampered with, or amended? How many times has it been amended? I say that.
I mean, by the Most High, none. But man,
has it been amended at all? The Most High's laws?
No.
There was something taken out of it that we couldn't, that we as a people could not do. There was something taken away from it.
Sacrifice.
Sacrifices. That's the only thing that's been amended. But are the sacrifices really gone? No, they're not
He is
gone.
our sacrifice.
Right, he was our sacrifice. So the sacrifices are still there. When you read Leviticus chapter 1 through 15, what kind of Bible do you have, brother?
I have the 1611 King James.
Can you get Leviticus chapter 1? And right above Leviticus chapter 1, they always put like 3 sentences right above the top. Can you read each one of those all the way up to chapter 17 from me?
Leviticus
Chapter 1.
chapter 1.
You can see right above it, it gives like a synopsis of that whole chapter.
1. The burnt offering. 3. The herd. 10. Of the flocks. 13. Of the fowls.
So what was the very first one that said?
The burnt offering.
Did we give offerings today?
No.
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 Go to chapter 2.
Chapter 2. the meat offerings of flour with the oil and incense.
Keep going.
4. Either broken in the oven, neither broken in the oven. 5. Or on a plate. 7. Or on a frying pan. 12. Or of the first fruits of the ear. 13. The salt of the meat offering.
Do we do any of those today?
No.
No. Go to Leviticus chapter 3. Read that.
Leviticus chapter 1. The meat offering of the herd.
Okay, we're going to speed it up. Do we do any of those today?
No.
Okay, go to chapter 4. Read that one.
The sin offering of ignorance.
Do we do that today?
No.
Okay, go to the next one.
For the 5.
Wait, chapter 4, read the second one after the
For
sin
the
offering.
priests.
Keep
And
going.
13. For the congregation. 22. For the ruler. 27. For any of the people.
Right, this is a sin offering of ignorance. We don't have priests to do that anymore, right? Go to the 5th chapter.
1. He that sinneth in concealing his knowledge.
Come on.
2. In touching an unclean thing. 4. Or in making an oath.
That's still valid. Come on.
6. His trespass offering.
Do we do a trespass offering today?
No.
No.
He's all of that.
Thank you. Keep going. Go to the next chapter.
6. The trespass offering for sinners done willingly.
Okay. Do we do that today?
No.
Okay. Go to the next chapter. Read that one.
7. The law of trespass offering.
Do we do that today?
No.
Keep going.
And of the peace offering.
Right. We don't do that one either, right?
Yeah. No.
Okay. Look how in depth we are going with this. Go to the next chapter. Read that one.
Moses concerneth Aaron and his sons. 14. The sin offering. 18. The burnt offering. 22. The ram consecrations.
Right. Do we do any of those?
No.
No. Go to the next chapter.
9. The first offerings of Aaron for himself.
Where's Aaron today? Where's the sons of Aaron?
The
Where's the sons of
Levitical
Levi?
priesthood.
Where they at?
It's not.
Are they in the proper guidelines of doing any kind of offerings?
No,
for us?
pastor is
No.
not the Levitical priesthood.
Right. Let's go to the next chapter. Read that one.
10. Naab and Abihu for offering of strange fire are burnt by fire.
If we do strange fire today, what's strange fire?
Trying to do a burnt offering, and we're not the Levitical priesthood,
Then-
and we're not commended by the
Okay,
Most
so
High.
they were unclean people trying to do a offering, right? Do we have that today?
No.
No. Keep going. Go to the next chapter. Read
Okay.
that. We're going to go all the way to 17.
What beasts may, in verse 4, and what may not be eaten, what fishes, what fowls, the creeping thing which are unclean.
Now, is this in effect?
Yes.
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 He didn't do away with that.
Yes. Okay, so what I want to show is there is sense to the scriptures, okay? Anybody can see that there is sense to the scriptures. Keep going now. Go to the next chapter. I just want to show these people act like Israelites are dumb. You know what I mean? They try to act like we don't have knowledge of the Bible, and we didn't go to some of these theology schools. But the scriptures are plain. The Most High wrote it for his people. Go ahead, I'll read the next one.
Leviticus chapter 12. 1. The purification of women after birth. 6. Her offerings for her purifying.
Okay, out of those two, which one is today and which one isn't?
The first one is today.
It's still
And the
in-
second one,
Right.
we don't have anyone to offer for her offering of purification.
Right, so the offerings are gone.
Yeah.
Okay, go to the next chapter. Read that one.
13. The laws and tokens whereby the priest is to be guided in discerning the lepers.
Do we have any priests as doctors today?
No.
No. Okay? No. Brother walk up to you with leprosy today. What are you going to do?
Unclean, unclean. That's what I'm going to do.
What are you going to do? Can that brother pray for forgiveness that has leprosy and not look for a priest?
No.
Yeah. He got to go to the doctor. All right?
Get away from me.
He got to go to the doctor. Go to the next chapter.
10, 11, 14. 1. The rites and sacrifices in cleansing of the leper. 33. The signs of leprosy in a house. 43. The cleaning of that house.
Is this in effect?
I think it is, but I don't know the actual process of cleaning.
It's in effect.
House.
It's in effect.
Yeah, because it's unclean for
it's
like
unclean.
a day.
It's unclean. Okay?
Yeah.
Would you go into a hospice area where someone is TB infectious? Would you walk in that place with no mask on?
No.
No. Common sense.
Airborne.
Airborne. Is leprosy airborne?
Yes.
Yes. Okay?
Yeah.
All right.
It's in fabrics and everything.
Go to the next chapter.
15. Leviticus 1. The uncleanness of men in their issues. 13. The cleansing of them. 19. The uncleansed of women in their issues. 28. Their cleansing.
Okay, is this in effect?
Yes.
Yes. So chapter 15, the whole chapter is in effect. We got 2 more chapters to go to. Chapter 16, read that out.
How the priest must enter the holy place. The sin offering for himself. The sin offering for the people. The scapegoat. The yearly feast of expiations.
Is that in effect? Is that in effect? No. It's not in effect.
The escape.
Most High is going to make us priests, but we have not received the rules from Yahweh on how to deal with our people according to the way the Most High wants us to do. We have a high priest right now. Read chapter 17. Read that.
17. 1. The blood of all slain beasts must be offered to the Lord at the door of the tabernacle. 7. They must not offer to devils. 10. All eating of blood is forbidden. 15. And all that dieth alone is torn.
Okay, with that being said, which part of that is done away with?
No.
It says, the most of all slain beasts must be offered to the Lord at the door of the tabernacle. Do we do that today? No. Okay. What about the next one? They must not offer to devils. What's that one? When we go to some of these churches, guess what?
That's what that is.
Offering our people to devils. Okay, what's the next one?
10.
All eating of the blood is forbidden. Now, if the laws are done away with, can we drink blood today? I just want to show you the plainness in the sense of the scriptures
For that matter, even
versus
raw
what
meat.
people say. I like my meat well done.
What I'm saying, but for that matter, even eat raw meat.
Yeah,
It's
raw
still
meat.
bloody. Yeah, you know supposed to eat that. They tell you it's unhealthy.
But these people tell us the laws are done away with. You get what I'm saying? Get what I'm saying?
You can pick and choose.
We don't eat raw meat. What does raw meat bring you when you eat raw meat? Bacteria, diseases, flora, all of that stuff comes into your body and destroys you. Even vegan people know that meat destroys you. Not saying we can't eat it. There's a way, there's a protocol on how we eat meat.
Your spirit buys you too, because you look at that steak and you be like, just looking at it, your spirit knows like, drinking some more, you know.
Right.
Heavenly protocol. That's right.
But the heathen eat it bloody.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Still
They order it like that.
by
But
choice.
this law ain't for,
For the heathen, right? Yeah,
This
right.
law was given to Israel.
Yeah.
You see the difference? Now I can tell you, brothers don't eat raw meat.
No.
I don't know any brothers that eat raw meat. Not one brother. All right. So we got to understand that the law is very simplified, but these theologians make it difficult.
Big deal.
They make it difficult on purpose. They tell us the law's done away with. And then they go buy them a rare steak and eat it in front of us. They're trying to keep us from getting to the kingdom. All right? Let's go to Hebrews. Hebrews chapter... now, Hebrews chapter 7 goes into it. Hebrews chapter 8 goes into it. Hebrews chapter 10 goes into it. Which one do I want? Let me see. Let's go to Hebrews chapter 10. And let's start at verse 4.
Hebrews chapter 10,
Start at 3.
verses 3. But in those sacrifices there is a remembrance again made of sins every year. For it is not possible that the blood of bulls and of goats should take away sins.
Come on.
Therefore then he cometh unto the world, he saith, Sacrifice and offering thou wouldest not, but a body hast thou prepared me. In burnt offerings and sacrifices for sins thou hast had no pleasure. Then said I, Lo, I come in the volume of the book. It is written of...
So we went over Galatians chapter 5 and 14 about one law. And that law with Christ is love, right? And recapping, in court you also have one law, which is the spirit of the law, which means when you take an oath to be an attorney, it means to not be biased towards your client. Okay? So when it comes to one law, which is love your brother as you love yourself and love the Most High, all right, that's one law, but it's the same thing. 613 laws, but not being biased to your brethren. It's the same thing. It's the spirit of the law. All of it encompasses love, which is keeping the commandments. So people like to say, well, the law's been done away with, not understanding that it's just, it hasn't been done away with. It's just been amended. Okay? It's just been amended. That's it.
And then and then also, you know, you give, the Heavenly Father gave us grace and mercy, which was just an extension of time to get it right. Start rehearsing it, you know.
So it's a beautiful thing, man, when you understand why we have the law. Like we was going over earlier with the testimony in the law. Our churches love to talk about the testimony of what they've been through. Sister Mary, you have a testimony? Brother Paul, you have a testimony? You have a testimony, little boo-boo, little foo-foo, little Lulu. Everybody got a testimony, but nobody's talking about keeping the laws, which is love.
Right.
That's love. Testimonies is not love. Love is the commandments. Very, very simplified, but people make it very technical and difficult. All right. Keep reading out Galatians 5 and 15.
Galatians 5 verses 15. But if ye bite and devour one another, take heed that ye be not consumed one of another. This I say then, walk in the Spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh.
Come on.
For the flesh lusteth against the Spirit.
So how many types of lust is there when it comes to the law? You have homosexuality, that's a lust. You have wanting strange foods, that's a lust. You have greed, that's a lust. Wanting strange women, that's a lust. So it's encompassing the whole law. All 613. So one thing can represent all the laws. That's why he says there's only two great commandments. And upon these hang all other things. Love the Most High with all your heart and love your brother as you love yourself. All of this encompasses the laws. This is what? Having no biasness towards your brother. Go ahead, out.
For the flesh lusteth against the Spirit, and the Spirit against the flesh. And these are contrary the one to another, so that ye cannot do the things that ye would. But if ye be led of the Spirit, you are not under the law.
If you be led by the Spirit, you're not under the law. What does that mean? To be led by the Spirit, not being under the law. That biasness, man. Don't show any biasness to your brother. If you are led by the Spirit, you're going to treat your brother right. There's no law for that. I love my brother right here. Brother, you want to go get something to eat afterwards? That's love. You know what I mean? Your family okay? That's love, man. And that's to all the brethren. That's why I have no problem with all the other brothers. Though some may be high-minded, though some brothers may say some crazy stuff, they still my brothers. Right, Doc?
For sure.
Yeah, they're still my brothers. As long as they keep these commandments and love them both sides. All right? Let's go to, so we talked about the law and court, right? Attorneys do the same thing. It's a form of reasoning too. Okay? Spirit of the law is reasoning. When you look through these laws, statutes, commandments, and you have to look at a brother and do counsel on him, you're reasoning with this brother to find out what's wrong, brother. What are you really dealing with? Why did you do this? You're reasoning with him to find out the problem behind the matter, so you can bring him back to the fold. Okay?
And you know, the Heavenly Father said that to us. He said, "Come, let us reason together."
Right.
You know, like He worked with you. You know.
That's what it is. So it's the reasoning, man. The reasoning. You gotta understand, we was a great people, man. We didn't just get mad at him. I ain't dealing with you no more. You know, all the brothers that's been with us, I still love all those brothers, man.
Right. Still see him and blow the horn at him. Whatever.
Yeah, if I see him, I'm gonna speak to him. Shalom,
Right.
brother.
Right.
When you coming back, you know what I mean?
Hey, Luke, I got
Go
a
ahead,
question.
bro.
Was that a form of reasoning when the Most High, when we were in the wilderness and He just was fed up with us? He told Moses, stand back, that He was going to do away with His people and start over with Moses. He said, I'm going to make a great nation out of you.
Right.
And then Moses spoke up and, you know, told him, you know, what would the nations think,
Right.
you know, about, you know.
He stood in between them.
Right. Was that a form of reasoning?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. He
That was
reasoned
heavy.
with the Most High. And how did he reason? He brought back to the Most High's memory what he said he was going to do.
Right. Right.
He said, you made a promise to us.
Right.
Jacob. You know what I mean? You made a promise to Jacob that we was going to be a great people. If Moses didn't speak up, he could have very well destroyed us.
Easy.
And Negroes of today would have ran with that. Okay, they would have stood back, let us all get wiped out.
Oh, yeah.
I like how Moses stood up. Though.
He stood up.
Yeah, that was big, man.
All praises to him.
That was big.
That was big. But you have to understand, like we read last night, about when Moses went to the Most High to receive the instructions. The Most High loved Moses so much, he let Moses always, when he was telling him, giving him instructions to go to Egypt and warn Pharaoh, Moses kept saying, but I already talked to these people, they're not listening.
Right.
You know, he was going back and forth.
Right, exactly, yeah.
Most High could have said, I ain't dealing with you no more.
Right, right,
You know what I mean?
right.
He
That's
brought
deep.
Aaron in and told, I'm going to let Aaron speak.
Right.
You just stand back.
Right.
He could have took Moses out of the whole equation.
Right, right, that's deep.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So we got to understand that the way that Moses reasoned with the Father is how we have to reason with each other.
Wow, that's
Even
heavy.
if we don't see eye to eye,
That's heavy.
we still got to reason with each other. You know what I mean? I love all the brothers out there, man, but sometimes our reasoning aren't on the same page. So sometimes you can't be together based on the reason. We can't come together.
When I think about reasoning with the Most High, I like how what was that, Lot and Sodom and Gomorrah, how he reasoned with them, like, would you not, well, do you give me permission to speak one more time if it be so?
Right.
Would you kill him for at least like
Right.
5 more
That's another
people?
form of reasoning.
That was Abraham.
The way he came at him, speaking to him, that was so
He
humbling.
tied the Most High up.
Yeah.
Because the Most High was like, okay, for 50 cents.
Yeah.
Do not get angry this one time. I got to say this one more time. He held the Most High up while he had it.
Man, yeah, that's heavy.
That's that. I don't know if you brothers ever heard. You see a wise man in the Lord. Do not let that brother, if he come to your house, don't let him leave without blessing your house. You know what I mean? Hold him to it. And when you read Matthew chapter 10 and 5, what does it say? When you enter a house, if they do not receive you, dust your feet off. You want that man to bless your house, not dust his feet off. You know what I mean? That's important. Shalom, brother. If you leave, shalom, brother. All praise to the Father. That's a blessing. You know what I mean? If he leave out of there mad, you don't want a brother leaving out there mad, man. That's mostly that's a man of the Lord. All right. Give me Sirach chapter 2, and let's go to verse 11.
Sirach chapter 2, verses 11. And it's the Apocrypha. For the Most High is full of compassion and mercy and long-suffering and very pitiful and forgiving sins and saveth in time of affliction. Woe be to the fearful hearts and the faint hands and the sinners that go two ways.
He said, woe be unto you. Come on.
Woe unto him that is faint-hearted, for he believeth not. Therefore shall he not be defended.
You're not going to be defended. Come on.
Woe unto you that have lost patience, and what will ye do when the Lord shall visit you? They that fear the Lord will not disobey his word, and they that love him will keep his ways.
Will keep his ways, and that's what we have to do as a people. We have to love his word, not be offended by the laws. We have to keep these laws. And I'm mentioning it over and over. Laws, 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 because this is something we don't do. We don't keep them. We don't try to keep them. Oh, it's too difficult. I can't do it. 613 laws? Now Esau has 27, but guess what? Guess how many statutes he had behind the 27?
Hundreds. He got hundreds.
It's almost thousands. Running the red light is not part of the amendments.
Right.
Right?
But it's a law.
It's an ordinance.
Ordinance, right.
You know what I mean? There's so many ordinances. The 27 amendments sound like it's so much easier to keep than the Most High's laws. Right? 27 amendments. Thou shalt not, thou shalt not kill is one of the Most High's laws. Thou shalt love him with all your heart. We can quote the laws of the Most High.
Right.
But the Bill of Rights, how many of our brothers can quote that? What's the very first Bill of Rights? Freedom of religion.
Religion, right.
Freedom of religion.
Wicked.
You know how many religions there are in this place? Now, as us being Israelites, do we have a religion?
No.
Give me Deuteronomy 4 and 5. So why are they so hard on us?
Because we're not exercising freedom of religion. We sticking to one God.
We sticking to one God. Freedom of religion, you said, if we're sticking to one God, what is freedom of religion?
Many gods.
Many gods. Thank you. Deuteronomy 4 and 5. Read that.
Deuteronomy 4, verses 5. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my power commanded me, that ye shall do in the land whither you go to possess it.
Right. So he said we're going to keep the law, statutes, and commandments wherever we go. Is that freedom of religion?
No.
To everybody else, they think we're in a religion. They either call us Judaism, or based on us being black with beards, they call us Muslim. Even when we hold the Bible, we're not Muslims. That's a religion too.
Freedom of speech?
Freedom of speech is another one. Now, we go out there speaking. That's our freedom of speech, to exercise our right to speak. Can we not go out there and speak to our people? That shouldn't be a problem, right? But it is. You saw how that hit the news.
Right. With the
The brother was just exercising his right to speak. Okay? So did he break any laws? He didn't break any laws. Did he defame anybody?
No.
No, he didn't defame. He called it for what it was. That's
He
what it was.
Right.
He
He condemned the ways.
call them what they want.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you can't be mad because somebody said it roughly,
Right.
but not nicely. He said basically what somebody else would say if they were speaking softly. Okay? So we got to understand that too. So you got a bunch of different petitions, right? A bunch of, not petitions. Freedom of petition is another. Freedom to bear arms is another. Which one affected us? The Negroes, Latinos, and American Indians. Which one affected us the most?
Freedom to bear arms?
No. Which one were we able to come out of slavery with?
Oh, affects us the most.
Which amendment? It's not even part of the 10 amendments.
Equal rights?
13th Amendment. 13th
What's that?
and the 14th Amendment.
13th Amendment.
So the 12th Amendment is dealing with voting.
Okay.
Okay? We have the right to vote, right? 13th and the 14th Amendment. 13th and the 14th Amendment is dealing with voting. Okay? So the 12th Amendment is dealing with voting. Okay? We have the right to vote. 14th Amendment is dealing with voting. Okay? We have the right to vote. The 13th one is to abolish slavery, servitude.
Right.
Okay? That affected us.
Are these the same thing as the Constitution?
Constitutional rights, exactly.
Okay,
United
I got it
States
at the house.
constitutional rights.
I got it at the house.
Okay. It's important for us to notice. You out there on the street speaking, you better know your rights. It's important. First one, freedom of religion, freedom of speech. Okay? Dealing with these Native American Indians and all these other Latino tribes coming from Dominican and Puerto Rico and stuff, you got to hit them with the voting stuff, man. You come over here voting. You didn't have that right in your country. You know what I mean? You got to hit them with these, the 14, you wouldn't have nothing if it wasn't for us, Judah being over here. You wouldn't have no rights. You know? What did Paul do? Did he call himself a Hebrew of the Hebrews? Did he not also call himself a Roman citizen? A Roman citizen. Which gave him what? Rights to do what he did. Which was an escape.
He knew when to use it
before
too.
They got ready to kill him.
He knew when to use it.
He knew when to use it.
That was wisdom.
Wisdom. Y'all got to know y'all battle, man. It's important to know what we have. Like the Most High told Moses. Moses was like, well, how am I going to bring down Egypt? He was like, it's in your hand, man. It's right there in your hand. That's how you're going to bring down the whole place of Egypt. That staff. This stick. He took down the whole place of Egypt with a staff, man. Turned the water to wine, turned the water to blood, made the staff turn to a snake, opened up the Red Sea with the staff.
Close the Red Sea.
A stick. All right, give me Proverbs 30:5. Wisdom is everything, Akim.
Proverbs 30, verses 5. Every word of the Most High is pure. He is a shield unto them that put their trust in him.
So every word that he made one time was pure. He didn't have to keep changing it. It's been pure ever since he created it. Read the next verse out.
Add thou not unto his words, lest ye reprove thee, and thou be found a liar.
Right. So if you try to change these words, you'll be found a liar. All right. So I got a quote here that Thomas Jefferson wrote. Listen to this quote. And think about this verse that we just wrote. This is Thomas Jefferson, one of the founding fathers, right? This is what he said on the quote. He said, if a law is unjust, a man is not only right to disobey it, he is obligated to do so. So he's saying that about laws. So we see all these laws that are being implemented, homosexuality. According to him, he said, it is your right to disobey a law that's unjust. Okay? So why are these people getting mad at us for speaking on it and not going with it? Just going to show you how contaminated this world has gotten. It's so satanic now, man.
Well, you know what? And the brother, the Chief Ephraim brother, that's what mainly sparked a quarrel with people. Because when you look at the interview he had after with the Edomite, he kept on asking about that homosexuality because he was saying faggots. They don't like that, man.
But the scriptures, what do the scriptures call it? They call it worse than that. They call
Sodomites.
They call them sodomites. If you know where Sodom was and what they were doing in Sodom, that's a worse bad word than faggot.
Well, he actually defined faggot to the white way. He said faggots mean a bundle of sticks. You know?
Well, I mean, yeah, but when you look at Sodom,
so sodomy is worse because that's
Sodom
unnatural
is
sex.
worse. We
Right.
still, you could go over there in Jerusalem today. They still got Sodom burnt to a crisp.
Yeah. Radio.
And that's not fear to them. That should be fear to everyone that sees it. It's still there.
And you know, nothing grows
Nothing
there.
grows.
Not a
even
blade
the
of grass
water.
grow. Every father left.
He left a mark, just
he
like
left
the
a mark.
rainbow. That's a mark.
Right.
He destroyed the earth. Everything that the Most High destroyed, he left marks for us to see.
The whole land is destroyed.
The land is desert. He destroyed the land. Everything that was destroyed, the Most High, including us,
Right.
were marked as well.
Big mark.
Everything the Most High put his hand to destroy is still here and is showing the remnants of what it looks like. We are destroyed. Our land is destroyed. Sodom and Gomorrah is destroyed. The Most High leave rainbows when he destroyed the earth. You know what I mean? You gotta think about it like that.
Nah,
So for people to disobey this word, they are crazy. Give me Matthew 4:4.
Even let it come off your tongue that his law is done away with. You crazy, man. Like, man, you is a fool. I was telling the brothers yesterday in the barbershop. They was like, man, how you gonna keep all the commandments? I said, man, the white man got way more laws than Heavenly Father. I said, he actually give you less.
And more vacation time.
Right, exactly. If they went by the Most High laws, brother had way more time at home. Man, working 7 days a week, man, stressed out.
Matthew 4 verses 4. But he answered and said, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the Most High Yahweh's mouth.
Right, so every word that come out of the Most High's mouth happened, and it's going to happen. Give me Acts 5:29. You got to understand who he's supposed to obey first and foremost. Even Thomas Jefferson knew right from wrong to a certain degree, even though their ordinances, like their Bill of Rights, has flaws in it. They wasn't thinking about us when they made those first 10 bills. Believe me. We wasn't part of that equation. Due process rights, that's why they had to reiterate the due process rights in 14. Okay?
But everything,
in Amendment 14.
But everything is set up the way the Most High did it perfectly, because he knew that they were going to take our laws and bring forth their laws. But at the end, it's going to destroy them, because the freedom of speech to go out there, what we're doing, to teach our people the Most High's word, knowing that they can't stop it because their forefathers said we have freedom of speech and freedom of religion. So now they have to go back on their word and be like, well, no, you can't do that, but your forefathers said we have freedom of speech. So now you're trying to tell us we can't speak then? But the Most High set it up perfectly for that to happen.
Go ahead, I read.
Matthew 5 verses 29. Acts 5:29. Acts 5:29. Then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, we ought to obey the Most High rather than men.
Right. So who we gonna obey?
Most High.
The Most High. Ain't nobody else gonna change us. We're going out to speak the Most High's word. It ain't our words. Okay? Everything is for everybody that sees us get marked. When we out there speaking, people driving by get marked. Everybody gets marked by us speaking the truth. Okay? You could turn on us for 2 minutes. Guess what? You just got marked. All right?
Even I only went to the camp one time out in the streets.
You got marked.
But it's buzzing all through the town.
Right.
I mean, people that didn't even come up to see me or to speak, to acknowledge, rode past in a car, and they calling other people and other people's families, and it's getting back around like, hey, he did. You know, just putting it, and it's out there.
Are you talking about you?
Just me personally. And they see me standing up, and I'm here because I see what's right. I see what's right, and I see the calling, what we are called to do. And since I'm going to stand up and do that, other people, they're talking about it. And it's
but you know what's so funny? When people react like that, and it's like, well, you know, to read the Bible, Yahweh did the same thing too. So why y'all getting the reaction that I'm doing? I'm doing the same thing what he did. You know what I mean? So they say, why you out there? You speaking you out like it's strange. Like they go every Sunday reading the Bible like Yahweh said he was out in the street. You know what I mean? So it's just the mind of the people is just gone. You know what I mean?
Give me John 17 and 14. John 17 and 14. You know, Yahushua spoke on all the things that we're doing today. That's the beauty of it. John chapter 17, verse 14.
John 17, verses 14. I have given them thy word, and the world hated them, because they are not of the world, even as I am not of the world.
What?
I pray not that thou should have taken them out of the world, but thou should have keep them for the evil.
From the evil.
From the evil.
Right. Keep going.
They are not of the world, even as I am not of the world. Sacrifice them, sanctify them through thy truth. Thy word is truth.
Right, so the Most High is sanctifying us by being out there.
Yeah.
The world hates us, but you know what? We're not of the world.
But you're gonna get that, man, because like I said, some brothers can't do that. They don't have the strength to be out there in the street because they say, oh man, somebody might see me. I can't go out there no more.
I don't think nothing of it.
Yeah.
I was out there with my uniform on.
Teach the word.
I know we have to, and you're hearing it, and your spirit is bearing witness with what the scriptures are saying. You know that you're supposed to be out there doing some type of will of the Most High, some way. Even if it's the woman making finger sandwiches the night before, so she can give them to the brothers if they're hungry or something. Right. Anything, you can do anything to build up the kingdom of the Most High.
So let me ask you, brothers, this: ultimately, are the people of the world afraid of the Most High?
No.
Are they afraid of the Most High?
No.
Are they afraid of His words?
No.
Yeah, his words, yeah.
They're not keeping His words.
When we out there speaking,
oh they don't want to hear it.
It's the hands that the book
it.
is in. This book being in the hand of the Negroes, the most destroyed people on the planet, is very scary. When they see a picture of the poster that we have with Hamashiach Yahushua, what do Edomite people say when they see it, when we hold it up? Who is that? They're scared of it. You know, a black man with red eyes, they are intimidated. You know, that's the last thing they want to see come out of the sky. You know, so our people got to get some understanding. When they see us out there, we are doing a great work for not just ourselves, but for them too. It's for them. Matthew chapter 13, verse 36.
Verses 36. Then Yahushua sent the multitude away and went into the house. And the disciples came unto him, saying, declare unto us the parable of the tares of the field. He answered and said unto them, he that soweth the good seed is in the Son of Man. The field is the world, and the good seeds are the children of the kingdom. But the tares are the children of the wicked one. The enemy that soweth them is the devil. And the harvest is the end of the world. And the reapers are the angels. As therefore the tares are gathered and burnt in the fire, so shall be in the end of this world.
Now they was inside when he gave this deep consolation. But look how we read it and we fear, like, oh shoot, who are the tares and who are the wheat and who's gonna die? You know what I mean? Yeah. We tripping off of this. Yeah. They was inside talking. That's what we doing. Same thing. We affected the whole world. He said that we will change the world. It's such a blessing. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. I'm ending with that. Are there any questions or statements or comments? Brothers want to talk about anything else? Anybody on the conference call still? Oh, yeah, get that. Titus chapter 2, verse 6. The water, all right? Brother B, listen diligently, boy. You sure you ain't no Berean? Well, yeah, just like one of the Bereans, man.
What was it? Titus 2 and 6. 2 and 6. Titus 2 and 6. Young men likewise exhort to be sober-minded. In all things showing thyself a pattern of good works. In doctrine showing uncorruptionness, gravity, sincerity, sound speech that cannot be condemned, that he that is of the contrary part may be ashamed, having no evil thing to say of you.
Right, so we got to all have the same mind, all have to have the same belief. This way we can attack in one fist. And when a brother comes with a new doctrine, that separates us, that breaks us down. So when we're out there and about teaching, now people could dissect us.
Right.
Okay? The ultimate goal is to teach these laws, statutes, commandments to our people and his testimonies. Now, the church has already been dissected down by not keeping the laws. All they go off of is testimonies and feel-good music. So, how much more can they be broken down if they don't have laws to protect them or shield them from the enemy? They could be broken down to the last minuscule, because the testimony ain't going to do nothing for them unless they have the laws. It's deep, man. This is some deep understanding, man. I don't know about y'all. When you look at how destroyed our people are, even when you go, like, Nash, you go to these funerals, everybody got something to say.
Man.
You got 5 minutes. You might have about 20 people at the funeral trying to speak their 5 minutes. But ain't nobody talking about the laws.
No.
See, the biggest thing is why, because when you talk about it, they don't want to change. They want to have the cake, they eat it too. So what I'm saying is that these things are going to continue to happen to us until we change. So if they don't want to change, then you're going to see more brothers dying, you're going to see more sisters dying. So that's the thing you have to ask them. Do you want to not have these issues, or you want to follow the Most High? So which is it? And that's the whole thing with the churches and everything else. Our people don't want to change.
Right.
Man, I gotta do this. Like, yeah, dude, if you don't, then you're going to be having these funerals all the time.
And the funerals should be the biggest promotion for you to teach the laws.
Yeah.
That should be the biggest promotion, because these pastors also go to these funerals for brothers who commit suicide. And that's the perfect opportunity to put fear in everybody. You know what I mean? Because you see these pastors today, they're getting paid. They're trying to say whatever makes the family feel good.
Right.
Come back next time.
Come back, yeah, come back, bring some more money to me next week, you know, in the week after that. But that's the time of James chapter 5. Push that fear in them. Give me that real quick, James chapter 5. Push that fear in them, man.
Yeah.
Huh?
From my experience, man, going to these churches and speaking, man, them pastors may be trying to get a brother down off that podium, man. When I bring the laws out, they don't like that, man.
Right.
Now, they'll let Jum and them give 5 minutes of testimony about, you know, that was my nigga and all this. But when I get up there and start quoting John 1 and 2, you know, when it says keep the law, he that says I know him and do not do my commandments is a liar. When I say that, well, they start tapping that watch. Brother.
Oh, I bet.
Get me off stage quick.
Yeah, you trying to run people away.
Evil selves.
Right. Hey, Satan fleeth for no man pursue him. All you doing is speaking the Most High's laws. You there, James 5 and 17.
James 5,
16.
verses 16. Confess your faults one to another, and pray for one another, that ye may be healed. The effectual, fervent prayer of righteousness,
Of a righteous man.
Available much.
Keep going on.
Well, Elias was a man. Elias was a man subjected to the like passions as we are.
Right. Come on.
And he prayed earnestly that it might not rain.
This is Elijah. Come on.
And it rained not on the earth, but the space of 3 years and 6 months.
Come on.
And he prayed again that the heavens gave rain, and the earth brought forth her fruit.
Come on.
Brethren, if any of you do err from the truth, and one convert him, let him know that he which converteth the sinner
So I'm going to break the laws.
from the error of his way
That's why it says from the error of his way. Come on.
shall save a soul from death,
Come on.
and shall hide a multitude of sins.
So if these pastors really want to enter into the kingdom and gain people behind them to enter into the kingdom, that's the perfect time to push the laws at a funeral. Perfect time. Even throughout the family's hurt. Push those laws, man. You know what I mean? One more.
And
Promote coming to church. Why? To learn more lies. Yeah, so I mean, you know, with all this being said, our people, they are in so much error. People are lost for lack of knowledge, man. There's so much error. You know? But, yeah, are there any other questions, statements, or comments?
This is the word of the Lord of hosts. I took you from the pastures and from following the sheep to be prince over my people Israel. I have been with you wherever you have gone and have destroyed all the enemies in your path. I will make you a great name among the great ones of the earth. I will assign a place for my people in Israel. There I will plant them, and they shall dwell in their own land.